Hmong culture means my identity. Without the culture, without the traditions, I wouldn't really know who I am.
The Hmong people lived in a really peaceful place. They all lived in small villages, mountains apart.
Life is what you describe as free. Even though life is very simple, they can still just wake up and they have their own backyard with their pastures, livestock, and their garden. Life was simple, and sometimes simple is better.
Nhưng mà bây giờ thì có chủ ở đây ban đầu ta thì có mà sự trí chọn có thể tổng nát. Chỉ trong này tới giờ nói có một yếu tố ta là chân chân. Số ban đầu sự khởi đầu thì có thể tổng nát, chỉ chân vậy. Chỉ tỏ cá ở đây ta thì khi dùng một tay ở hồ lửa mà nó. Họ ban đầu đã nâng đỡ ý giả li bị xả li nhau li bê thấu bây giờ bê ở tay chỉ là sâu rộng. Bé kia tới tới chờ là đây tôi là thay tê chỉ tôi rồi mình cả tê nó chỉ là sâu cho nó nâng được sự khai lên được.
Everything kind of came crashing down once the war started. And that's when the Hmong had no place.
A lot of us know of the Vietnam War, but of course a lot of Americans do not know that the Hmong people were involved. We call it the secret war, mainly because we were a secret in the sense that nobody was supposed to know that we were a part of the Vietnam War. The Americans weren't supposed to be there, and so they needed the Hmong people to ally with them in order to help and to make sure that we can prevent communists in that area, which is Laos and Vietnam.
The U.S. needed some folks that knew the land very well.
They wanted to get some of the local ethnic tribes to help them out during the war. Basically, they were asked to create guerrilla warfare against the North Vietnamese at the time.
We were told that if we didn't help, we would not have a homeland to live in. We would not have our villages, and we wouldn't be safe, and that's why we allied with the Americans. My dad's job, or the soldiers' job, were to make sure that we saved every American soldier who had fallen, and also intersect the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which involved a lot of the equipment that were being sent through.
I was born in Siang Khwam, Laos, in 1955. And 1972, I started working with the U.S. soldier. The Hmong soldier was trained by the U.S. Secret Army. They teach how to use a gun, how to carry a gun, and how to fight with the enemy, like not Vietnamese soldier.
Even my brothers, they were soldiers, even though they were 13 and 14 years old. The idea was that they were able to fight if they could carry a rifle.
It's very difficult. It's very hard and also very sad too.
When the war ended, the Americans pulled back.
They sort of just left all the ethnic groups that they had recruited to help aid in the war there.
The Hmong was really seen as traitors by the Laotian government.
Anybody who were Hmong were going to be persecuted, and that started the genocide. Not knowing where to go, we had lost our home, lived in the jungles. We had to find a safe place, and the only way was to get to Thailand, which was a neutral area and was our only way to be safe.
The way we escaped from Laos to Thailand by walking to the jungle. You have your mom, your dad, maybe they can't walk so fast as you. So we have to, slow. And then you have to find out what direction you go is safe for your family or your group. Yeah, that's why we take a long time.
Thầu nè thiết gì dù cũng mà ở trong sự thì nhà là biết tua thì việc nào tua bây khen gỗ cá trong cá hà cá dê cá chả nè khen gỗ thì khó dễ nhưng tua bơ lu thì khen gỗ thì
I was probably maybe 4-ish at that time. My mom told me that when we were crossing the Mekong River, since I was so young, I really couldn't swim. And I remember, water, and everybody had crossed except for her because she had me. She was afraid that she would drop me. But eventually we got to the refugee camp, and I remember a big house where there was a lot of mosquito nets. We were given a spot, and I could remember seeing lots of other families sitting in their mosquito net, and we were given a couple blankets, and that was it.
Life in the camp is good and it's not good too. In the camp, we don't know that we're gonna stay in the camp for life or we have another way to go out.
The refugee camp, it was barbed wire, no fresh food, no fresh water, very unsanitary, families upon families in one little hut. It's almost like a holding station while the political powers figure out what to do with these Hmong folks.
Thái dân quân trụ Thái dân sọ ilu bây giờ Thái dân chịu phụ bây giờ nâng tận độ cái Thái mà sao tôi bên nào sư về bây dân bao lì cái bên long lù hàng cái Thái cô chủ lì giờ bây chỉ tự một cái thứ gì.
Everyone was crammed to live in this small house. Food portion-wise, the Thai government, they would deliver rice, fish, and vegetables to each family daily. And that's all that you're getting. Anything else, you would have to, if you can, even find land, farm on your own. My dad was a Hmong teacher, and he taught his students how to read and write in Hmong. And his monthly payment was through 1 bar of soap, toothpaste, and a few other things. My mom did a lot of sewing, Hmong textiles, Hmong clothings, and the story cloths, and that was the number one thing that made money to help feed the families.
Thôi nhớ thì thấy tế gì bé ơi chẳng đợi mua nhẹ rồi. Thế tàu nhẹ cho một dừa rau dừa cái tê là nó là những phải mỏ thế là những phải cái tôi thế thế mà những chỉ trâu nó chỉ có nhiều số tàu ua chẳng đợi cho một dừa ít xe là nó thế là.
The story cloth originated when the Hmong families were in the camp. Since they've left everything and they didn't have anything, and there was no other way to make money, a lot of the Hmong women started making the Pa Dau, which is the story cloth, by hand.
Story cloth, it coincides with the Hmong culture in the sense that storytelling is huge. Things are passed on from generation to generation. Unfortunately, a lot of times it's lost in translation as well. So I think this is just another piece to storytelling, which is super important to the Hmong culture.
The story cloth basically explains how Hmong people kind of lived through their lives, through the genocide and everything. And not only that, but it explains like the legends or like myths or just folk tales that we have.
A lot of the things that are depicted on these story cloths are of the Secret War itself. It shows Hmong people from China moving downwards to Laos and Thailand, and then showing the Secret War, and then showing the refugee camps, and then showing airplanes flying, and then the US. Other things that are sewn on these story cloths are daily lives, a lot of farmings and such. And animals.
Basically, it's a canvas for the sewer to put their story down on it.
The students are stepping away from having a better understanding of textile, mainly because of time. They're really displaced from understanding that how important it is to keep it.
It is burdensome for a lot of American-born Hmong to carry on the hope, dream, aspiration of our parents, knowing that they sacrificed so much for us to be here. So for Hmong students, Monday through Friday, you work and go to school. On weekends, for a lot of non-Hmong, they want to party, they want to hang out, they want to catch up with their friends. For a lot of the Hmong students, they have to go back home because their culture ceremony at home. So that competes with your time studying.
Today, the Hmong-American, they change a lot. They don't learn how to make sewing anymore because they believe that today the embroidery is not important to them and it's not useful to them and they don't need to wear them anymore. But it is very important that everyone should know that all Hmong girl or Hmong man are Hmong because they come from the clothes that they wear. In my age, long ago, I heard from my parent to parent, they always say that you see the clothes that they're wearing, is tell them what city they're coming from, what ancestor they're coming from, and what kind of design that country is wearing. So it's very important. Every mom is tell every girl that you need to make it good and you also need to make it faster, no matter you lazy or not. Nói chung là thì ý gì còn đâu này, cho họ lời chỉ hiểu, nó chân đầu rồi lời chỉ cho ban đầu lời chỉ cho tết chỉ cho ai chỉ.
Cô xã tiệt lỡ cho li này nó nếp phun nè nè, thế một chỗ phun tất cả này rồi, thế rồi lỡ tôi cái nè, lần cái hàng lỡ ở tàu lỡ ở tàu li bị phun lỡ nè.
Cô xã gọi họ ý là li mua lúc xí hơn nè. Chỉ là chủ sổ ban đầu mà rồi nó là sổ số giá đi lợi nhẹ chỉ là chủ là cỡ sự đó chỉ là cái cỡ sự
My memories of making textiles or Pa Dau would be just the long summer days with my mom making me do this sewing, and I wanted to go out and play.
When I was first introduced, or when I first saw my mom sewing the story cloth, it didn't draw a lot of interest in me. I knew what it was, and I was aware that, oh, that's a story cloth, but I didn't ask my mom any questions.
When I was younger, my mother actually tried to teach me textile making just as a way of keeping me occupied so she doesn't have to keep an eye on me all the time. But making textiles is a lot harder than it seems.
My mom has tried to teach me when I was younger, but it has never really picked up in any of me or my sisters. So I think she just kind of gave up on it.
Girls like my age and my generation, very few sew now. Our priorities are different now.
When I was 10, I really wanted to sew. And then my mom would be more than glad to teach me. However, as I get older again, I hit that stage of not appreciating my own culture, and then I hated sewing. And then my mom was always just trying to make me sew. And she's always trying her best to just tell me that it's something that's nice and everything, and I'm sorry.
I think keeping our roots is most important because our religion and our culture, it's somewhat disappearing. As the years go by, the more Americanized we all are. And it's not that we're abandoning it, but it's just that we're not looking at it the way we used to or the way our parents used to.
I actually think that sewing is a dying art, in the fact that, again, it is primarily a female-dominant role. I think that the decrease in interest in learning the textile making and the techniques behind it is that the younger generations my age are too occupied with their lives right now. A lot of them are in college, a lot of them are working, and taking care of their immediate family right now takes precedence over learning these techniques.
We don't sew anymore because we live in America and it's just not needed. I think it's just because we're so caught up in going to school and living the Americanized life that we don't practice sewing anymore.
Hmong clothing back in Western Thailand, they had simple, less or dull colors that they would wear for their everyday lives, everyday chores and such. And it wasn't until the Hmong New Year's that they would bring out their bright and colorful outfits. Here in the United States, Hmong clothes are mainly worn during the New Year's only.
Imagine not having a point of reference to take your children to kind of recharge, reboot, and reevaluate who you are as Hmong. We don't have the opportunity. So our opportunity is when Hmong New Year comes along.
The clothing is also a sign or identity part of the Hmong culture. The clothing you wear represents your clan and where you come from. So when you go to the Hmong New Year's, you can tell like if that person is your clan or not by just looking at the clothes they wear. So at the Hmong New Year's, that's where people find mates. That's where they come and court each other. So it's really important that you're wearing the right clothing.
I do dress up to look, I guess, fabulous when New Year comes around, because it's a time where you could just express yourself as a Hmong woman, and then you get to dress up in the beautiful colors and just the beautiful clothing, and then you go out there and then you just show off that, hey, I have this too, you know, I work hard for this, and I just try my best to look appealing to other people.
It was the Hmong New Year when my mom told me to wear Hmong clothes. I was very young back then. I didn't want to wear it, but now that I grew up, I understand how the Hmong clothes mean to us. And now that I go to New Year, I always wear it because I want to show it off that my mom's hard work for making me this clothes for me is actually very precious, and I should understand the importance what my mom had been through just to make this clothes for me.
For a long time, even when I was younger, I actually hated being Hmong, mainly because I didn't know how to explain who I was. Not having a Hmong land, to relate to, because most of the time when somebody asked me, oh, what's your ethnic background? I would say Hmong, and most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, they've never heard of Hmong before.
The Hmong people, they're very unique people. They originated from China, and from there in the Yangtze River, from the Yellow River, because of political persecution and many other reasons, the Hmong migrated down to Southeast Asia. Majority of them settled in the hilltops of Laos, in Vietnam, in Burma, and then from there on, they then dispersed to other countries in the world.
A lot of people think that Hmong are just basically unknown. It's complicated because we come from like Laos, Thailand, China, and like different places in the world, and we all just kind of combine together to become one thing, and it's Hmong. I wasn't really kind of connected to my culture when I was younger. I just thought it was something unimportant, and then realized that you do need that culture behind you. It's my job to just support the culture and tell the kids that it's okay to be proud of who you are and the culture itself, and just try your best to tell the community that Hmong itself is not something that's simple. It's more complicated and more unique than what people see.
If you're Hmong, you should be proud because your parents' parents or your parents have come a long way to be where you're at right now. And they made huge sacrifices for you just so that you could have a good life.
As a Hmong woman, we're told that we need to be able to learn how to do everything and anything. And so those memories really brings me back, and the fact that I'm really glad that my mother taught me how to do all this. And even though I dreaded it when I was younger, it's really helped me throughout my whole life. And even to this day, the lessons that I've learned from it is that it's taught me to appreciate our ways and our culture. Even though you may be as Americanized as you want to be, Hmong will always be within you.
I think for me to be Hmong in America is to, try to bring my Hmong community together and realize that we don't have a country to go back to. We don't have a point of reference, but what we do have is we have each other.
I think it's important for the younger generations to still keep in touch or to learn of our traditions and of the sewings and such.
I want my children to know the history of the Hmong people, the culture, and so part of it is sewings.
This is our way of passing on our history, that this is what happened to us, this is why we are here, and that this is why you're here. It's a way of keeping our history alive. It's a way of passing it on to the younger generation.
I definitely don't want all of those things to be something that my generations or younger generations would forget about, because I believe that that's what makes us Hmong, and if we lose that, then what are we?